My name is Amy Pahota. My tortoise's name is Stitch. I am actually gone for 12 hours a day. I live in Green Cove, Springs, Florida, but then I work in Jacksonville, so that's about an hour and a half commute every day. So I leave at 6:30, I come home at 6:30, and a dog is not necessarily the most practical when you're only home for a few hours every night. You don't have time to like spend a lot of time with the dog, plus you got to worry about letting him out and all that stuff. So when I was trying to sell my husband on an animal, I said, well, a tortoise, you don't have to take it out every day, you know, and you just set it up in his cage. And when I was growing up, my brother had and still has a tortoise. So I got to watch that one grow up, and I was always fascinated with it and the way it would interact with other things. And I thought it was interesting, and also fascinated me how big it would get. We went with the sulcata, which is a North African tortoise, and it's very friendly to people. They don't bite, they're very kind of docile, but they don't mind being picked up and touched and held. They make good pets. They're born about 1.5 to 2 inches, about that big, and they're soft. They're the size, a little bit bigger than a golf ball. He could fit in the size of my hand when I got him. He was that small, so tiny. I get asked the question quite often, well, what do you do with it? What's the point of having a tortoise? I enjoy them because they're so interesting to look at, especially the sulcata. Every once in a while, I'll let him walk around the house. I'll kind of block off places he can crawl under because he will get lost under the couch. But they're so curious, and they don't see obstacles. They see something as a challenge, and they will keep going at it until they've conquered it. It's just such an interesting thing, and I get a lot of pleasure out of watching him grow, seeing how he interacts with things. Just seeing him like walk one way, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna go this way. Oh, and I just pick him up like a toddler starts to run away. You pick him up and turn around, you're like, oh, I'll just go this way. Not my tortoise, he'll turn right back around. You ain't stopping me, I'm going right back to where I was. I always keep a little pool of water in there for him so he can either drink. So I do soak him every morning. Well, vets and reptile specialists suggest that you soak baby sulcatas at least half an hour every day to keep them hydrated, their shells hydrated. As they get older, you can kind of lessen that. I was giving him a mixture of either romaine lettuce, green lettuce, or red leaf lettuce. Just a little bit of it every day. Eventually, they should be on just natural grasses and hays. The sulcata tortoise can get 80 to 100 years old. Mine is a year old. I expect to will him down to whichever child shows the most interest and is up to the task. So I'm looking forward to him growing up with my children. When you're thinking about getting a tortoise, you should probably decide what's the most important thing to you, and can you give that tortoise what it needs. If I planned on living in an apartment for the rest of my life, probably wouldn't buy a sulcata. I think the leopard tortoise, very similar to sulcata. They have the same kind of diet, the same kind of temperament, but they stay smaller. So right now I live in the country. I have a yard. Right now I'm equipped to handle it. If it ever got to the point where I couldn't give him what he needed, you know, I'd have to think about what I could do. For right now, I would just say, can you provide him what you need? Because if you bought a dog, but you were never home to be with it, would you say that was a good decision? It's the same thing with any animal. You need to make sure that it's not just decoration for you, that you're giving it what it needs as well.